The mystery of Genghis Khan's resting place has raised questions in the minds of scientists and archaeologists for years. However, it seems their curiosity has finally been satisfied, as the secret resting place of the great Mongolian leader has been unearthed. How could this groundbreaking discovery impact our understanding of the world's history? Join us as we embark on an exciting adventure, revealing some mind-blowing secrets about Genghis Khan's tomb. Genghis Khan, the visionary founder of the Mongol Empire and a truly unprecedented world conqueror, achieved a remarkable feat by uniting the tribes of Mongolia under his leadership. This marked the beginning of a historic era characterized by bold military campaigns that stretched across vast regions, including China, Central Asia, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. Interestingly, the Mongolian Empire had grown to 4 times the expanse of Alexander the Great's conquest by his passing, and twice the magnitude of Rome's dominion. However, the legacy of his leadership was more than mere conquest. One of Genghis Khan's most known contributions was the profound connection he fostered between the East and the West through establishing the Silk Route. The monumental trade network facilitated the exchange of goods and culture, fostering a rich connection of cross-continental interactions across Eurasia. He further revolutionized governance in a world without constant communication by creating the first postal service. This concept had been unheard of, enabling him to govern his growing empire effectively. Setting himself apart from the norms of his time, Genghis Khan championed the concept of gender equality within his empire during the 11th and 12th centuries. Women assumed influential roles as respected matriarchs of their families. Even widows were afforded property ownership rights. In a progressive move, Genghis Khan actively encouraged women to partake in military training and bestowed upon them administrative responsibilities during his extensive campaigns, a truly fascinating behavior for someone of his time. While the prevailing religious belief in Mongolia was shamanism, Genghis Khan's empire was a beacon of religious tolerance, where all faiths were embraced and practiced. Remarkably, despite being illiterate, he recognized the transformative power of literacy and fervently advocated for its propagation within his empire, leaving a mark on his time's intellectual and cultural development. Genghis Khan's leadership prowess was nothing short of extraordinary. His command over his men was characterized by an unwavering demand for loyalty, which he reciprocated by rewarding it generously. In a time when one's birth predominantly determined social status and career progression, Genghis Khan challenged this norm by allowing his followers to ascend the social and administrative ranks solely based on their merit and abilities. What are some of the myths surrounding Genghis Khan's death? For over 8 centuries since his demise, the grave of Genghis Khan, the formidable 13th century conqueror and ruler of the largest empire in history, has remained an enigma. However, while his life has become the stuff of legend, his death remains veiled in a cloud of myths and mysteries. Legend has it that Genghis Khan before his demise requested a burial devoid of markers or signs. After his death, his body was supposedly returned to present-day Mongolia. The great Venetian explorer Marco Polo noted that even by the late 13th century, the Mongols themselves were unaware of the tomb's location. Historical records such as the Secret History of the Mongols provide the year of Genghis Khan's death but offer no insight into his burial site. Marco Polo's writings refer to the tradition of carrying the Khans to a lofty mountain named Altai for burial, regardless of where they passed away. The circumstances surrounding Genghis Khan's death are similarly shrouded in mystery. Some historians speculate that he succumbed to wounds sustained in battle, while others suggest he fell from his horse or died of illness. During his time, significant efforts were made to conceal and protect the grave from potential grave robbers. The escort responsible for Khan's funeral supposedly eliminated anyone who crossed their path, further obscuring the grave's location. One account even mentions 10,000 horsemen trampling the ground to erase any trace. Yet, another legend tells of the grave's rediscovery 30 years after Genghis Khan's death, involving a young camel buried alongside him, with its mourning mother eventually leading the Khan's family to the tomb. Japanese archaeologist Shinbai Keito has referenced this tale as documented in ancient Chinese texts. According to the Yan family tradition, all great Khans of the Mongols were interred near Genghis Khan's tomb, referred to in Chinese as the Qinyan Valley. The specific location of this valley remains absent from historical records. Genghis Khan's final wish was for his tomb's location to remain a secret, known to neither man, woman, nor child, ensuring his eternal rest in peace. Notwithstanding the cultural sensitivity and enigma surrounding the tomb, the quest to unveil this historical riddle has compelled historians and archaeologists to employ various techniques, including examining ancient texts and satellite imagery, to pursue this sacred burial site. The contents of Genghis Khan's tomb promise to offer us a deeper insight into the man who conquered numerous diverse people and their respective cultures. A profound debate ensues regarding whether it's morally justifiable to disregard the Mongol people's cultural sensitivities by potentially violating their ancient leaders' last wishes in the pursuit of historical knowledge. Present-day Mongolians exhibit a divided stance on the matter, with some opposing the idea of locating the tomb due to its cultural taboo. In contrast, others recognize the likelihood of Genghis Khan's burial alongside valuable treasures and artifacts from his conquests and raids. This discovery could carry a huge financial worth in terms of its treasure alone, not to mention the invaluable glimpse it could provide into a bygone era dominated by oral traditions. In a recent Washington Post article, an unusual approach to hunting for the tomb involves crowdsourcing the search through satellite imaging. This method resides in a gray area for most, as it seems less intrusive into the Mongolian culture's taboos, with their aversion primarily directed toward a physical presence. Nevertheless, the ethical dilemma persists. If scientists were to discover the tomb, could they truly pass up the opportunity to excavate it? This question dominates discussions when contemplating the ethics of unearthing the tomb. Additionally, a painting created after Genghis Khan's passing depicting the burial scene was discovered, even though no one knows its accuracy. This artwork underscores the profound reverence the Mongols hold for their traditions and heritage. Scholars continue to engage in a lively debate over the intricate interplay of fact and fiction in historical accounts, given the prevalence of forgery and distortion. However, a prevailing belief among many historians is that Genghis Khan did not rest alone in his burial. Instead, it's widely speculated that his successors were buried alongside him in an expansive grave, possibly containing a trove of treasures and spoils amassed during his far-reaching conquests. What efforts have been made to discover his tomb? Numerous expeditions led by various nations, including Germans, Japanese, Americans, Russians, and Britons have dedicated substantial resources, amounting to millions of dollars in their relentless quest to locate his grave. In 2001, a collaborative expedition jointly undertaken by American and Mongolian teams, spearheaded by Maury Kravitz, a retired Chicago commodity trader, and aided by Dr. D. Bazaga of the Genghis Khan Geohistorical Expedition, made a significant discovery. They stumbled upon a walled burial ground nestled on a hillside near the town of Badsharit. Situated approximately 200 miles east-northeast of Ulaanbaatar, near the Onon River and in the foothills of the Khenti Mountains, this location bore proximity to both Genghis Khan's presumed birthplace and the site where he declared himself the universal ruler of the Mongols. Within this site, researchers uncovered at least 20 unopened tombs, presumably designated for individuals of high status. An earlier Japanese expedition had ventured to this site in the 1990s, but it was met with public apprehension that the scientists intended to excavate human remains, ultimately leading to the expedition's termination. On a significant note, on October 6, 2004, Genghis Khan's palace was discovered. This finding prompted academic speculation that his burial site might be located in close proximity. Referring to an account by a French Jesuit, Maury Kravitz found a reference to a major battle where Genghis Khan, still known as Temujin at the time, secured a decisive victory. According to this historical source, the battle occurred at the confluence of the Kurlan and Bruchi rivers, with Burkhan Khaldun looming over his right shoulder. After emerging victorious, Temujin expressed that this place would forever hold a special significance. Guided by the belief that Temujin's tomb might be located near this battlefield, Kravitz embarked on a mission to locate the elusive Bruchi River, which had eluded cartographers' records. While the river remained unidentified, Kravitz did uncover a place name, Barun Brook, within the designated area. As of 2006, he actively excavated approximately 62 miles east of Burkhan Khaldun, fueling the ongoing search for Genghis Khan's final resting place. In the years 2015 and 2016, two separate expeditions led by French archaeologist Pierre-Henri Giscard, renowned for his expertise in Mongolian archaeology, and Raphael Utfort, a specialist in scientific imaging, ventured into the Khenti Mountains, situated in the northeastern region of Mongolia. These expeditions gave credence to the theory of the presence of a burial ground at the summit of Burkhan Khaldun Mountain. Using non-invasive techniques and drones for their analysis, they provided compelling evidence that the 820-foot-long burial ground was indeed a human-made structure, likely fashioned in emulation of the Chinese imperial tombs in Chan. Additionally, the expedition observed that the mound was a major point for religious ceremonies and pilgrimages among the locals. Notably, no scientific publication resulted from Pierre-Henri Giscard's expedition, undertaken without proper authorization and without informing local authorities. The Mongolian government strictly controls access to the area surrounding Burkhan Khaldun due to its sacred significance to the local populace. Nevertheless, despite these efforts, the location of Genghis Khan's tomb has persisted as one of archaeology's most never-ending mysteries. However, a recent breakthrough may change that. Scientists claim to have stumbled upon what they believe to be the long-lost tomb of Genghis Khan, covered with intriguing artifacts that have the potential to reshape our understanding of the powerful Mongol conqueror. In a research facility housed within the California Institute for Telecommunications and Information Technology at the University of California, San Diego, Albert Lin and his team combed through vast, ultra-high-resolution satellite imagery archives and constructed intricate 3D reconstructions based on radar scans. Their objective was to unearth potential clues that could unravel the mystery surrounding the burial place of Genghis Khan. This endeavor created an unplanned open-source initiative, drawing upon the collective efforts of numerous online volunteers who studied a staggering 85,000 high-resolution satellite images, seeking hidden structures or peculiar formations that might yield insights. The team's findings include the remains of what appears to be a substantial structure dating from the 13th or 14th century, situated in an area historically linked to the Khan's burial. Moreover, an array of artifacts such as arrowheads, porcelain items, and various construction materials have been unearthed. Albert Lin, the principal investigator of the project and a National Geographic explorer, expressed the compelling nature of the evidence, stating that everything sums up. Recent evidence from scholars has indicated that the final resting place of Genghis Khan might be near the sacred Mongol mountain, Burkhan Khaldun. This mountain held great religious significance for Genghis Khan, serving as the place where he would pray to the sky god Tengri before embarking on his mission to unify the Mongols and people from other areas. Following the rise of the Mongol Empire, the site became known as Ik-Korik, or the Great Taboo, accessible only to the Mongol royal family, also known as the Golden Family. The Mongols sealed off a 93-square-mile area, making trespassing a capital offense. Even during the Soviet era, access to the region remained restricted, fearing that the mountain could once again become a site of pilgrimage or a focal point for Mongol national identity. The Khenti mountain range where the discovery was made had been off limits for 800 years, a decree issued by Genghis Khan himself before his demise. This discovery could mark one of the most meaningful archaeological revelations in recent history if these findings are confirmed. Employing drones and surface-penetrating radar, along with the collective efforts of thousands scrutinizing satellite data and photographs, the team meticulously scoured the mountain range, methodically photographing 4,000 square miles of terrain. Albert Lin, exercising caution necessary for academic research, refrains from revealing the full scope of his team's findings, awaiting the scrutiny of peer review. Nevertheless, his enthusiasm for the project shines through his scholarly reserve. He emphasizes the transformative impact of Genghis Khan on history. He laments the limited knowledge that exists about this remarkable figure. Lin underscores the potential of any archaeological discoveries related to Genghis Khan to shed light on a crucial aspect of our shared cultural heritage that's long eluded us. To journey to the Khenti Mountains, one must embark on an eastward drive from the Mongolian capital Ulaanbaatar, passing by a gleaming statue of Genghis Khan before reaching the mining town of Baganur. With its dilapidated appearance, this town evokes a post-Soviet atmosphere, characterized by the imposing presence of a 10-mile-long slag heap, marking the location of Mongolia's largest state-run open-pit coal mine. Situated along a major east-west corridor in Central Asia, this region extends westward to the Caspian Sea, eastward to Japan and northern China, bordering the formidable Gobi Desert, which once instilled dread in travelers like Marco Polo. This geographical setting and its temperate climate have rendered the area an inviting habitat for nomadic communities. Unlike other parts of Mongolia, where temperatures can plummet below -4 degrees Celsius and soar above 38 degrees during summer, these valleys enjoy an unusually mild climate. The landscapes adorned with ritual monuments and burial sites, revealing an intriguing historical home. Archaeologists have unearthed layers of tombs upon tombs, signifying that different tribes from various times have consecrated the same ceremonial grounds with their rituals and burials. Lin collaborated with the International Association for Mongol Studies and the Mongolian Academy of Sciences in the Valley of the Khans project. This project, initiated 3 years ago, gained support from the University of California, San Diego, and the National Geographic Society, securing permission to explore the Khenti mountain range. It's important to note that their approach prioritizes the preservation of ancestral burial grounds through the use of non-invasive methods. The excitement among the researchers grew as radar scans detected the outlines of a substantial structure's foundation in the remote region. Small teams of field scientists and archaeologists were dispatched with advanced tools such as radar, magnetometers, and drones to investigate further. Their efforts led to the remarkable discovery of artifacts, including arrowheads, ceramics, roof tiles, and bricks scattered across the desolate uninhabited terrain. Fred Hebert, an archaeology fellow with National Geographic and another principal investigator, recounts their findings, stating that they identified hundreds of artifacts scattered on the surface when they extended the search area and looked more closely. They believed that there must be something significant there. Carbon dating of these discoveries yielded exciting and promising results, aligning with the timeline of Genghis Khan's life and death. Hebert explains that material dating of some samples indicates 13th and 14th century origins, though the full data analysis is still underway. If these initial findings hold, it could represent the first scientific evidence in 8 centuries regarding the elusive whereabouts of Genghis Khan's tomb, a long-standing enigma in history. What are the potential implications of the discovery? Beyond the potential revelations about Genghis Khan's burial, the discovery of artifacts in a cave hints at the existence of civilizations predating the Mongolian Empire. Some of the artifacts appear to be crafted from alloys requiring advanced metallurgical knowledge not commonly associated with that time period. This groundbreaking discovery has raised thought-provoking questions about the role of unknown or otherworldly influences on Genghis Khan's military success, prompting introspection and debate among religious leaders. Furthermore, Genghis Khan is cherished in Mongolia's national identity, with his image prominently featured on currency, government towers, and statues nationwide. Genghis Khan's tomb unearthing has garnered international attention, sparking discussions on Mongolia's geopolitical relations with China and Russia. It's also ignited debates on cultural appropriation, historical accuracy, and national sovereignty regarding who can study the artifacts, analyze the DNA, and reshape the historical narrative. This landmark discovery at the intersection of geopolitics, heritage, science, and human understanding has posed complex ethical and political questions, touching on intellectual property, spirituality, genetic heritage, archaeological practices, cultural appropriation, and ethics. It has challenged scientists to maintain professional integrity while respecting cultural sensitivities and heritage preservation. It may seem that the revelation of Genghis Khan's tomb has far-reaching implications, extending into the realms of geopolitics, heritage, science, ethics, and cultural dialogue. That'll be all for today's video. In the comment section below, let us know what you think about these discoveries. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and check out our channel for more interesting content.